in here. My name is TJ Callen. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the Assistant Director of Peer Programs at the Center for Wellbeing Programs and Psychological Services. Today, we got a couple interactive things. So I will ask that if you are up for participating, please do so. It's going to be very helpful to make the session go by a little quicker. We're going to get into a game of Jeopardy first, how the rules are going to go. Since there's so many of y'all, I'm gonna say a word, and whoever spells it correctly first in the chat will be the person to pick. With that being said, so there's not a monopoly on fast typers. If you just selected a question, I'll go to the next person that spells it. Does that sound good with everybody? Can you give me like a thumbs up or some type of acknowledgement that y'all are like up in here? I'll see one thumbs up. Okay, that's enough for me. Okay, I'll see a couple. Cool. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. This is just to really test some of the knowledge that y'all have. So let's get into it. Can everybody see the screen? Can somebody unmute? I can't see y'all.
Yeah,
Uh, okay, perfect. Now let me open the chat. Okay, so for the first word, I want y'all to spell the word lemon in the chat. First one that gets it gets to pick the first category. Okay, so we got Henry. Y'all got some fast fingers. I barely finished saying it. Oh, where'd it go? Give me one second. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, perfect. All right, so Henry, can you unmute yourself and give me a category that you would like to pick? We have wellness plus time management, goals, definitions, and miscellaneous.
we do goals for uh, for four.
Goals for 400. Okay. Name three organizational tools, techniques, or resources that you can use during the academic year. And this is broad, so think of things you use in your everyday life.
This is not working. Okay. Google Calendar is one.
Hmm. Y'all need to private chat him. He got to answer the question.
So wait, is it just one person that's supposed to answer the question?
He could answer if you want to team up. Y'all definitely can. The main objective is for y'all to start asking questions and getting some of these resources. We'll go over everything at the end as well.
Okay, got it.
So, Henry, would you like to defer to another person?
Um, no, I got it.
Okay.
So first of all, someone did mention a calendar.
Hmm.
Um, Next, a good technique for organization would be in having some form of like daily planner, which tells you your exact schedule for the day. So you're not just memorizing events, having specific blocks set aside for things like, I don't know, if you want to go to the gym, you have that set aside for a specific time every day. And then the third thing is just planning, which seems like it should be obvious, but it is important to actually have a set plan for when you're doing things to keep yourself organized.
Yeah, exactly. Nailed it. So let's see if I could. So agenda, calendar, reminders, post-it notes, Google Forms, the Eisenhower matrix, the Pomodoro, etc. So there's lots of things that you can use. All right. The next word will be couch. Looks like K Genty got couch first. All right. So
Hi,
what?
can I get miscellaneous for 200?
Miscellaneous for 200. Perfect. What is the name of American University's mascot?
Dang it, I don't remember. I know it's an eagle, but Um, yeah, I'll defer to anybody that knows because I do not remember.
Hey, y'all got the World Wide Web right in front of you. I'm just kidding. Don't Google. Somebody said in the group chat, Aiden said Claude. That is correct. Claude Z. Eagle. So you got his last name, so or their last name, so cool, cool. All right, the next word is sleep. Oh, Aiden. Y'all got some fast fingers. Y'all grew up on keyboards, huh? All right, Aiden. What would you like to pick?
Yeah, give me 500 wellness and time management.
All right, shoot.
Where
This word is a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by prolonged or excessive stress.
is it drained?
Incorrect. Does somebody else want to steal this question?
Could I? Could I?
Yeah, what's up?
Is it is it anxiety?
Mm-mm, but you're along the right track, along the right track. I'll take two more guesses before I tell y'all what it is. Let's see. One more guess, question mark? I can just tell y'all too. Nobody wants to guess? Oh, Genty got it right. Yep. The term is called burnout. So you experience this when you're having prolonged states of exhaustion, and it could be from any realm. So it could be emotional, mental, physical, and yeah, I know a lot of us have been experiencing this a lot recently, and especially when you get to college and you're not planning out your days, you're not making sure you're on top of everything. So yeah, burnout is the answer. All right, the next word is eagle. Isaac again. All right. What word would you oh, what category would you like to pick?
I'll do goals 300.
Goals 300. Give me an example of a short-term goal for academics.
Making Dean's List. I don't know. Is that
Within the semester, that's a couple months, yeah. So the definition of this one was kind of easy. The short goal is anything within a couple weeks to a few months. So a semester, anything, any goal-oriented things you have within that span would be considered a short term. Anything over the span of a year or more would be considered a long-term plan. All right, next word is cow. All right, Henry again. Well, what category would you like to pick?
Definitions for 500?
Definitions for 500. All right. This technique suggests that you should work in fixed time intervals with breaks in between.
No idea. Don't know why I thought I would know.
Wait, can I steal it?
Yeah, you can seal it.
Pomodoro?
Yep, that is correct. Good stuff, good stuff. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. For the next word, how about you got the question right? Would you like to pick either pick a contestant out of the pool or pick another answer?
Pick a someone random?
Yeah, pick somebody random. They got to answer.
That's so mean.
It could be messy in here. I was watching Love Island earlier. It could really be anyone.
Oh, okay, okay. I'll pick Charles.
Thank you.
Hey Charles. So what somebody's LOL. So Charles, what category would you like to pick?
Wellness and time management 200.
Bonus and time management 200. Why is it important to take regular breaks while working?
So that way you don't get burnout. I don't know.
You know, funny enough, I actually forgot what I put for this. Let's see. You said for 200. Okay, can you repeat your answer? My bad.
So you don't get burnout.
I'll accept that, yeah. So to reduce fatigue and important focus. Um, let's see. Would you like to select somebody to go?
Uh, okay, I get to be mean back to someone. Sure. Hayden Brown.
See, that's what I would have done. Anybody with their camera turned off, I would have been like, boo.
Let's select goals for 200.
Goals for 200. What does the R stand for in SMART goals?
Regulation.
That is incorrect. Does anybody want to steal it? Nobody wants to steal it? Realistic. That is, yeah, somebody got it. Relevant. So we'll talk about SMART goals a little later for a little activity, but you want to pick something that is relevant. All right. Hayden, would you like to select the next person?
Sure. Why don't I go for Alyssa?
I'll do goals for 100.
Goals for 100, got it. To minimize interruptions, you should A, listen to music when you work, B, do the work later when there are no distractions, C, remove yourself to a quiet place to efficiently work, or D, none of the above.
C.
That is correct. Remove yourself to a quiet place to efficiently work. Good stuff. All right, who would you like to pick?
I'll pick Alice.
Hey, Alice.
Okay, I'll do miscellaneous for 400.
Miscellaneous for 400. I forgot what question this was. How many seconds do you have in one day? Dang, I don't know why I put this.
Oh,
That is
um,
hard, actually.
my guess is 5,000 something. It's
That
probably
is,
very far off.
that's incorrect. I'll give y'all a 5,000 cushion. So if you guess around it, I'll, I'll put it in. Henry, you got Google? Got Google open?
So
That
there.
is correct. Henry, would you like to select the next person to go?
Is it Mila?
Mila, yeah.
What would you like to select?
Uh, let's do wellness and time management for 300.
Wellness and time management for 300. Procrastination can significantly impact mental health, often leading to increased,
I would say anxiety or stress.
correct, stress, anxiety, or depression. Um, would you like to pick another person?
Oh, again, okay. Uh, I'll pick Abigail.
Hey, Abigail.
Definitions for 200.
That was taken. Do you want to do 300?
Yeah.
Cool, cool. What is sleep hygiene?
Is it like stuff you do before, like habits you do before you go to sleep so you can get like a good night's rest?
I'll accept that, yeah. So the practice that refers to the practices and habits that promote good quality sleep. So if you're going to bed every night at the same time, if you're having a proper wind down, if you're going to sleep in the most comfortable conditions for you, if you're going to bed with no super loud noises and people waking you up, if you're sleeping regularly through the night, that is good sleep hygiene. All right, so we only have a couple more categories left, and then we're going to jump over to the PowerPoint presentation. Would you like to select who goes next?
Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Hello, I'll do miscellaneous for 500.
Okay, see what this is. Or cognitive function refers to,
Your brain and I don't know. Maybe how alert you are? How fast you can think of answers, maybe, and your alertness?
it's very, very close. Does anybody want to add before I reveal the answer?
Is it like your long-term and short-term memory and like recall?
Yeah, it definitely has to do with memory. It definitely has to do with your ability to memorize, usually in the span of studying. And I'll reveal the answer. Y'all did a good job, though. So it's your perception, your memory, learning, reasoning, problem solving, attention, and language. So all these things are part of the cognitive function, the parts that they refer to. And these are all get helped when you are having practicing safe sleep hygiene and making sure you're taking care of yourself based on like all the centers of well-being, which we'll talk about in a second. But all right, just real quick, so we have a couple more minutes over here. We're gonna go rapid fire. You say K Genty wants to go again. Do you want to pick? Where you at? Mm, Does anybody else want to go? Select a number or select a category. Oh, there we are. Found you. Do you want to select them?
Oh, yeah. Can I get definitions for 400?
Definitions for 400. Name after a president. This is a tool created to help with prioritization.
I don't know.
It is, you could just throw out a president.
Well, if it's not something I know, Truman?
The answer is the Eisenhower matrix.
Mm,
Would have expected Eisenhower, but yeah, this was a prioritization plan used to make sure they got all the things they needed to get done. And yeah. You say somebody wanted a redemption shot. Alice, go ahead, pick one.
Okay, I'll do definitions for 200.
The action or process of deciding the relative importance or urgency of a thing or things.
Prioritization?
Correct. All right, so now we got one, two, three, four, five. We have a couple more categories. Alice, would you like to pick somebody?
Sure, why not? I'll pick Connor.
Hey, Connor.
What's up, House? Can I get goals for 5?
Goals for five. Okay, knocking out all the hard ones. What is the name of the American University office that supports academic goals?
I forget we rename our offices every other year.
Very true.
Is it still ASAC, Academic Support and Accommodation Center?
Yeah,
Okay.
an access center. So, but you got the ASAC part, so I would have accepted either answer, but academic support and an access center. They actually do such a great job. We had a presentation from them the other day, and there's lots of fun resources that I did not know about, which was like really fun to hear. Would you like to pick somebody else, Connor?
I'll send it back at Alyssa.
Okay.
Can I do definitions for 100?
Definitions for 100. Putting off a task to the very last minute.
Procrastinating?
I'll be so good at that. I'm not even gonna lie. Would you like to pick somebody else to go? I personally would have picked AJ just because that person's name's too close to mine.
Okay, then I'll pick AJ.
Oh, I'm screaming.
Can I do wellness and time management for 100?
Yeah. True or false? Switching between tasks when you have multiple things due is an effective way to complete your goals.
False.
Correct. Science and the peoples have decided that when you jump from task to task, it's very hard to come back to them, and it's really easy to get lost or get disorganized when you're bouncing back and forth from different topics. So they say to finish one task in small pieces and then go on to the next. Okay, we have three more categories. AJ, would you like to pick somebody else?
Sure. Uh, how about Alexander?
I just thought of Alexander Hamilton from the play Hamilton, and I'm singing the songs in my head. Anyway, where's Alexander? Hmm. Would you like to select? Hmm. Okay, for time's sake, is there anybody else that wants to go right now? We have three more.
I'll go again.
Alexander mentioned 300 definitions.
Never mind.
Let's knock that one out, bro. You can get the next one. The coordination of tasks and activities to maximize the effectiveness of an individual's efforts. Can't tell if you're typing or not. I'll give it 10 more seconds and then I'll reveal the answer. Multitasking, it's not multitasking. All right, so I'm going to give y'all the answer. The answer is time management, what the entire session was about. I read the definition. I was like, dang, I didn't even realize it had like an official definition. I thought it was just kind of like intuitive, but yeah. Last two categories. Hayden, did you want to pick the last two categories?
Yeah,
Or-
I'll go with wellness and time management for 400, please.
Sweet. What is this counseling center at American University called?
I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie.
I said it at the beginning of the presentation. The name, and it's a long one. Does anybody else know it? No? Got it. The Center for Wellbeing Programs and Psychological Services. This is all the information this is the place that I work at. You're gonna get lots of information and resources related to that area in T minus like 10 minutes. So last one. The primary goal of time management is to A, complete tasks as quickly as possible. B, to balance work and personal life effectively. C, to avoid all stress. Or D, to work continuously without breaks. Anybody can answer this one. So B. B is correct. Hey, oh wait. Hey, y'all did it. Hey. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Let's see, let's go down. Thank y'all for participating. I appreciate it. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and open this, and we should have enough time. We should be good. Does anybody have any questions that were brought up during the game of Jeopardy? That was really just to test out what y'all knew about the different topics to kind of like a fun little icebreaker. There's no questions. I'll go ahead and get into it. And if you have any questions, feel free to just type it in the chat. I'll be taking a look at that. Um, this I'm gonna do a little sped up version of this just to make sure I keep into account your time restraints. But this is mastering the balance of time and wellness in college. Um, like I previously said in the last question, the Center for Wellbeing Programs and Psychological Services. At the end of the presentation, I'll give you some of our resources that you can utilize and that are all free and confidential for you all. I'm probably gonna skip the activity for this one just to make sure. So this one we could do a quick. So you could answer either one of these questions. What do you spend the most time doing? And or what is your average screen time? And y'all could take like 2 minutes to go check. You could answer in the chat, you can unmute yourself. I know personally, I've been on Marvel Rivals for too many hours trying to get lords with every single character, but okay, we got another Rivals. Spend most of my time break playing video games, and you cannot pry my screen. I have to get surgically removed from my controller. I sit in like the second I finish work, you're not gonna expose me like this. I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna hide. Average screen time is entire day except for like 2 hours. So it sounds like a lot of time is being spent in front of screens, which is fully reasonable. 5 hours. My screen time last week was like 8 hours. I was like, geez. It was bad. So yeah, it seems like a lot of us are looking at screens the entire time. And we have to ask ourselves, is this an effective way to spend our time? I personally think yes, but I think in order for time management, when you're getting into undergrad, when you're getting into the thick of things, that's probably not always going to be the best mode of how we spend our time. I know it's very tempting. We're over the summer, so it looks a little different, but prioritizing time will definitely be a skill that will be very useful to y'all once you get once you just start getting into the swing of things. When in undergrad, I was an athlete. I played football, so I had very few hours to myself, and I had to like time my days out to a very specific T. And we'll practice some of those, and I'll give you some tips and tricks that I used while in college to kind of help y'all out. Let's see. Procrastination. We already went over the definition of procrastination, because somebody unmute and describe what that's like, why we do it, ask what it is, like anything like that. Like, why do you think you procrastinate? Why was this something that we do? And you can type it in the chat as well if you don't want to unmute yourself.
In simple terms, it's like you put off tasks, but it can also be doing it's like have you ever heard of productive procrastination, where you do other smaller tasks that you convince yourself you need to do, but you're avoiding the larger task that needs to get done?
Yeah, definitely heard of that. That was a good comparison, because I think a lot of people do that. It's like, oh, I have to write this paper, so let me go and fold my laundry because I don't feel like writing my paper. And we take all these little distractions and we're like, let me do something else so I could like manage my life. But typically you're doing this with things that aren't helping you with your primary goal. I do that too. Rip. I like it's so bad. Like I'm like, I have to write an essay right now. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go check on my goldfish and see what they're doing. So we definitely do that a lot. So some of the reasons why we might procrastinate are feelings of boredom. If something doesn't necessarily spark your interest, it's very hard to kind of lock in and do what you have to do. Lack of belief in your abilities. So like you're less likely to begin a task if you don't feel like you can accomplish it. So if you're sitting there like, oh, this paper's like 17 pages long, I'm not going to be able to do it. Like I hate writing papers. And you're thinking about it as like this big daunting task, and you're like, oh, I'm not a strong writer. I don't really know what the topic's about. That definitely stops people. And it's almost like self-efficacy. You don't believe in yourself to be able to do it, even though you're all in this position because multiple people have deemed you able to be here, and they know you are going to be an asset to the university. And that's why you are all here in this space right now, because you are meant to be here and people wanted you here. And at that, multiple people wanted you to be here. So just pats on the back for everybody. Like that's essentially right. Like y'all belong here. Fear and anxiety, fear of knowing, social anxiety, financial stress. So a lot of people see this like, say your tooth starts hurting and you're like, geez, I probably need to go to the dentist and figure this out. The chances of you trying to go to the dentist within the week are probably far from it or going to the doctor. I think sometimes when you get diagnosis or when you get names for things, you don't want to know. Sometimes it's easier for your for yourself to cope when you do not know, and it could just be like a whole wave of things, even though that does cause more stress. Perfectionism or perfectionism, putting off tasks because you need to be more inspired. Typically, when people are in the arts and sciences, they will experience this a lot where they're like, no, if I wait a little longer, I'll have more tools, I'll have a better insight on what I'm doing. Like I'll be more inspired. Like I will have lived X amount more life, so I will be able to put what I have in my mind onto paper when that's not necessarily what's going to happen. That's your brain feeling anxiousness and not wanting to continue with the task because it seems very intimidating. And that could lead to prolonged stress. And based on all of these things, procrastination does lead to burnout because what you're doing is putting more strain on your body. Distractions. So when you're scrolling on TikTok and now the only thing you can hear in your brain is, and you could be the Jet2 holiday. That was literally me. I saw like two of those videos before I even hopped on the call while I was eating lunch. So that's something that could be very distracting and cool tools on your phone to use would be like the do not disturb mode. My friends will FaceTime me at any hour of the day, like we are all unemployed. And I'm like, sir, ma'am, I have a job. I have to do presentations. I have to do all types of things. So making sure you have like you know yourself, because if I see a notification, I'm opening the door. I need to see what it is. I need to know who needs me or like who sent me a TikTok. Like I need to know. So knowing yourself is definitely a great way to kind of make sure you are keeping to task and not procrastinating. And another one is feelings of overwhelm. Lots of things when presented to you seem like a huge daunting task. Like when you first get into class and your professor gives you a syllabus. Syllabus week is the best week. Everybody loves it. I loved it because you show up to class, say hi to your homies, sit like, oh, who is cool in this class? What's the professor's vibe? But it can be very overwhelming. You're getting a huge task list of things to do, and college is one of those spaces where nobody's gonna keep reminding you. Nobody is gonna get on you to do it. This is a structure that is you have to be very self-reliant and make sure you are on top of your own things. So breaking things down is an essential part of managing your schedule and making sure you're using your time effectively. Because I can't tell you how many of my friends, even me, have been frustrated that we couldn't do something we wanted to do because we had to do something that we needed to do. So just keeping that in mind. I know this is nothing new to all of y'all, but this is just something to think about and something to make sure you're like keeping just keeping at the forefront of your head as you go into the semester because it's rapidly approaching and woof. Do we have any questions before we move on? I know I've been talking at 100 miles per hour. I know we have a couple minutes left, so I'm trying to keep going. Okay. Some ways to overcome procrastination: break tasks into smaller pieces, the Pomodoro technique. This essentially states that you should work in 25-minute intervals. If you're like me, I work very well with incentives. So if I work for 25 minutes, I will go into my kitchen and I will get some hint of lime Tostitos. I'll reward myself with a little chip, or I'll reward myself with like a little nature walk, something to make me look forward to working. So I'm like, I know I'm doing this fun thing or getting this fun thing, so let me go. Cannot do that with video games. If I take a break to go play Marvel Rivals, I will be on there for the next 7 business days without blinking. Creating a checklist. I am a huge checklist person. Oh, you can't even see it, but making sure you have all your tasks written down. A lot of students will have mental checklists and they don't necessarily have a tangible one, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your agenda planner or something written down. So making sure that you have space to get it out of your head because also when you have lots of thoughts in your brain, it is very hard to detangle them, especially when new things and new information are being brought to you. And in this day and age, there is lots of information coming at you at every single point of the day, of every second of the day. So getting it out of your brain and onto something that is physical, tangible is probably the best ways to kind of regulate that. Schedule out sessions to complete tasks. What this could look like in your calendar. If you know you have a 10-page paper, you could block off an hour each day for the next week and be like, hey, I'm going to write 2 pages of my work, and it's two pages a day. And by the time I get to the end of the week, I will have the entire thing done, and it's only 2 pages a day, which is very manageable. Change your settings and surroundings. If you've ever gotten stuck in a rut, or if you ever got like a little block, sometimes going outside, changing where you are can help refresh your brain and also give you a little break in between your movement from one place to another. Focus on what you can do versus what you can't do. If I have to do a math test and I see decimals and fractions, or I see letters collaborating with the numbers again, I'm like, I can't do that. But if I see something that's like, oh, 2 + 2, 4 + 4, 1 - 1, I'm like, oh, work, we got this. So making sure you attack the manageable tasks just to get yourself into it. And also, sorry, I'm going a little fast. I'm trying to be mindful of y'all time. Um, Positive reframe. Lots of negativity is typically surrounded doing work, and um, lots of psychologists will suggest that if you have a positive mind frame and reset your thinking towards it, it is actually very helpful for you. So if you're like, dang, I have to do this homework, being like, dang, I get to learn this new topic. So when I take the test, it's going to be that much easier for me. And it could be as simple as that. And evaluate your priorities. This kind of goes in line with the second one, where to look at the bigger picture. I know when you're taking classes, when you're going through something that might be a little rough, making sure that you're like, this is important for the long run. This is something that I need to do. If you have a big essay, you have your best friend's birthday at what club y'all be going to on U Street or whatever, and you're super excited. It's like, okay, let me make sure I get my homework and studying done before I go out on U Street and dance on the street and whatnot. Anyway, I'm gonna skip this. So, how do you think time? We have 5 minutes. We got this. How do you think time management affects wellness? So these are some of the ways that they work together. So when it comes to stress reduction, when you are planning out your day, when you are using the techniques that we previously spoke about, it's going to reduce feelings of overwhelm. This is you scheduling out and pacing yourself and making sure you are not giving out more energy than you are actively receiving. It prevents burnout. So when you are being stressed for prolonged periods of time, it will prevent that when you are being proactive about it, and it improves your focus. If you break your task up into smaller pieces, you'll be able to focus more because it's for a shorter period of time. And with these like 60-second videos that are everywhere, I think a lot of attention spans have been kind of going down, me included. So it's definitely helpful to shorten your time instead of sitting there for giant chunks of hours. It enhances mental clarity. So your mindful decision making when you're stressed and when you feel rushed, especially when it's things that involve using your mind a lot, like tests and studying. Sometimes your decision making isn't great. Have you ever been on a test and you just kept reading the same sentence and you were like, I'm just going to pick one because I just cannot figure it out? That's essentially what it'll help, and it'll help improve your cognitive function. So this will help your memory. This will help your ability to kind of absorb the information and keep it for longer than the time it takes you to take the test. Because I know a lot of times in undergrad, when I crammed for a test, I remembered that information for about 24 business hours. The second I turned my test into my professor, wiped blank, did not know what anybody was talking about after that. So in order to prevent that, definitely spacing out when you are studying and how you do that. Let's see, 3 more minutes. Increases productivity, better prioritization, effective workflow, meaning getting the task you need to get done in an order that makes sense for you. increases the feelings of accomplishment and motivation. So this could improve your morale, leading to better mental health outcomes, improve mood and energy. So work-life balance, you're not going to be struggling to balance your social life with your own personal life, with your academic life, family life. So you'll be better able to plan that out. Reduces anxiety and more time for self-care, which is amazing, and we love that. Let's see. I was gonna have y'all make SMART goals, but we are rapidly approaching time, so I will really quickly. Oh, first off, did anybody have any questions while I pull up the resource slides? I know I was speaking kind of fast. Just wanted to make sure y'all got the information before I had to head out. Let's see. Okay. This is the final stretch. I'll be super fast again. Can everybody see the slide? Okay. Work. Okay. This is our center. We have a great group of clinicians. I clearly am the tallest one, but we have a very diverse group of individuals, and they are very hardworking and they are very great at what they do. So if you wanted to put a face to the name, when you come to the center and you say, "Hey, I want to talk to a therapist," these are some of the faces that will be there. So yeah, just that visual. So for the psychological services side, there's two sides of us. There is the outreach side, which I am on, and then there's the psychological services. Through this, you get individual therapy, you get group therapy. We have app support like Mantra, which I'll talk about in the next slide. We have single sessions, which are essentially, I know you might be familiar with the individual therapy and group therapy, but for single sessions, this is when you only want one session. So if you have one specific incident that does not need ongoing care, this is like a session where you go in and you talk to them about that one time, and then you'll be good to go. Or it could be a session, kind of like the referral services, where you get connected with community providers and resources. So if you deem that the services that we offer are not to your liking, or you're looking for something a little different, you're about to graduate and you need to find somebody in your area, we're not just going to be like, oh, well, good for you. Like, good luck. We're going to sit there and we're going to help to find you places that work with your insurance, that work with everything that you need, including affinity style therapy sessions. So just keep that in mind. We also have protocol. If there was a number to write down, I probably would write this one down, the 202-885-7979. What this number is a 24-hour crisis line. So if you or a friend are going through a crisis, a mental health crisis, this is a number that you can call and they will connect with you, and they will hook you up to a licensed clinician, and you'll be able to talk through it all with them. A lot of professionals will use this when a student is experiencing like either maybe like signs of like depression, or like you just need somebody to talk to. This is 24 hours. They usually pick up within a couple seconds. Let's see. We got a question here. Not specific about this presentation, but ways to access this. I think there should be, they said it was recording. I don't have the recording, but I think there should be a recording. And then the last part I'll go over, some part of the Wellbeings program. These are resources you can access. We have survivor advocacy, so emotional and administrative support. This is for those who experienced interpersonal violence. So this is sexual assault, domestic violence, anything related to that, or if you know somebody that has experienced these things, you will be able to set up a session with our counselors, and you'll be able to talk to them and talk to about any of these challenges. We have alcohol and drug services. So we have consultations, psychoeducation, and referrals. If you are curious about your relationship with alcohol, we did not record this meeting. I'll be uploading to you. Okay, cool. Um, so if you have any, let's see, if you are curious about your relationship with alcohol or other drugs, this is somebody you could talk to. These are confidential services, so that means it's between you and the person you are speaking to. They're not sending this out anywhere. They're not doing anything like that. We have Eagles Rest, which we were talking about sleep hygiene earlier, which is definitely related to how your mental health works and how you memorize lots of things. So we have free sleep assessment. You'll go on the website and you'll be able to access a little survey, an assessment. You'll input your sleeping habits, and then you'll have a consultation with our specialists, and they will give you points and tips and tricks on how to fix your specific sleeping schedule. And we have sleep kits, so it's a little cute bag, and it'll come with not AirPods, earbuds, so you could like block out noise. It'll come with like sleep mats and some other things to kind of aid in your sleep hygiene. And then we have programming, which I oversee some of that. We have the Pure Health Education Program, which are students that get recruited and taught by me to go out into the public and work on wellness in the community. It's a great program. If you're interested, please let me know. I will connect you to all our applications and some of our resources. It's a 1 credit class, and it's really cool. You do lots of fun things within the community, and have lots of agency to kind of do the programs and spark the change you want. And whew, I've been talking so much. Last thing, Mantra Health. Please copy, please take like a mental screenshot or actual screenshot of this. Mantra is a third party that we work with, and these will provide some self-guided, evidence-based skills designed to like support. Oh, perfect. Thank you. This has some self-guided stuff. So if you ever heard of like Headspace, it's something you could log into, kind of just like do some self-guided things. We have one-on-one coaching with a wellness coach. So that's something that the students have been really liking. We have Connect Now. So between specific time parameters, if you need to talk to somebody on a call, like immediately, you'll go through that and you'll be able to talk to somebody similar to protocol, not exactly the same, but as you read through on the app, you'll be able to see it. All of you already have this for free because it's signed up through your AU credentials. So whatever email they gave you, whatever password, all you do is log in and you can start your sessions. And there's also therapy on there so you can meet with a clinician. With our services, you get 6 to 8. And then with Mantra, you get up to 8 additional sessions. So that's kind of how we make sure we see all of our students. But these are all licensed clinicians, and yeah. Ooh, sorry I went over a little bit.
No, I think it's really important information, so we really appreciate it, TJ. Again, just to reiterate, we are recording this meeting. I'll be uploading it onto YouTube and share a private link with y'all for a little bit. So just want to say thank you to TJ and give him a quick round of applause before he leaves us. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'll stay on for another like 10 minutes. And if you have any specific questions, just private message me and I'll private message you back about anything. If I don't know something, I'll take your email down and then I'll follow up with you. But thank you so much for having me, y'all.
Yeah, thanks, DJ. Alrighty, we're gonna kick it over really quickly to some senior program leaders that are on the call. I'm gonna hand it over to Alyssa. She's shared in the chat a list of questions that she's kind of prepared to start this conversation generally about health and wellness. We find that it's important to have these kinds of things in mind. So if you would take a minute to take a look at these questions, and then I'll pass it off to Alyssa.
Hi everyone, my name's Alyssa. I'm a senior at AU and I'm one of the senior peer leaders. So for the rest of the time, today we're just going to spend some time going over some questions that might be helpful to you as you're getting ready to move into college. So I put a document in the chat. Feel free to open it, and the questions are numbered 1 through 15. And If there are any questions that you want to hear answers from me, myself, or the other peer leaders who will introduce themselves in a second, we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have related to the topic of health and wellness. It can be a question specifically on this list to kind of get you thinking, or any other questions you may have about anything we talked about today or that TJ covered as students who have used these resources. So, while you guys read over the questions and think, I'll turn it over to the other peer leaders so they can introduce themselves.
I'll go first. Hey, pals, I'm Connor. Just wanted to wave and say hello. I'm a senior at AU, studying journalism and political science. And yeah, that's pretty much all for me. I'm cohort Apollo.
I'm Aditya. I'm a rising junior at AU doing Clegg and data science, and I am the SPL for Hades. So yeah.
So, if any of these questions are of interest to you, or if you have any other questions, feel free to unmute and ask, or you can pop the number of the question in the chat, and we can do our best to answer how we've navigated some of these issues as college students so far. Okay, so someone said number 15. If you had to give one wellness tip that's actually realistic for a busy college student, what would it be?
I have an answer. It very simply keep a hobby. Um, Set aside time in your schedule to keep a hobby. I know my hobby is playing social deduction games with people in the local area. But being able to set aside time like every other Sunday, I leave the district entirely and go just to a group meetup and lie to my friends for 6 hours and then come back. I understand uh, that's not the exact thing that the situation that everyone finds themselves in, but find time to have a hobby. I know some people go to climbing gyms that are in the DC area. Some people go to movies often. There's a lot of different things that you can do in the area. So find something you're super interested in and that gives you energy and make time for it.
I would say get out of your dorm room. When you're a freshman and you're in your building with a lot of your friends are nearby, it can be really easy to just like spend all day in the dorm, whether you're like doing homework in your room or just sitting in the lounge with your friends, which is obviously a great way to meet people. But you really need to get out of the building, which I found that sometimes as a freshman, I would get stuck in there and it doesn't make you feel good when you're just inside all day. So I would say at any opportunity, go outside and get out of the dorm a little bit because you spend enough time there.
Yeah, I would say like try to set a time for yourself to say after this I'm not gonna really do any work. So like for me it was like after 8 I'm just gonna do stuff for myself. If I haven't finished some homework by then, like I'll probably have tomorrow to do it, but I don't want to just over encumber myself by having to do homework until 12 a.m. So set that time and then after that, kind of like Connor mentioned, make sure you do your hobbies. Like for me that was playing video games with my friends. And that's what I would do.
Next, someone said number 10. The question is, how do you find time to rest or recharge, especially during midterms or finals? I would say that if you're not making the time to rest and recharge, you're not going to actually be able to be productive in any of the work you have to do for midterms or finals. So it's either you make the time or you struggle to actually get anything done. So I would say kind of similar to what Aditya just said. When I'm working on finals and I know I have like a big paper to write, same thing I tell myself like, okay, at 2 o'clock, no matter where I am on this paper, I'm getting up and I'm going on a walk. And then at 4 o'clock, no matter where I am on this paper, I'm gonna call my mom for 15 minutes. So I think having a plan in mind before you go into something makes it a lot less overwhelming.
Yeah, I remember I had a day around finals first semester last year where I had classes and then I had to work on a paper and then I had to go cover a volleyball game and then I had to work on a paper. That is not healthy. Don't do that. Because it was straight through working on things. This is an example of what not to do. Take time for yourself. Like Alyssa said, get up, take a walk, call your parents or people that are close to you. Get a snack, eat food. Please have a good eating schedule and keep yourself hydrated. Because if you don't, then your body won't have the energy to keep going as well, which is also bad.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to time management. So saying, okay, I have, 3 finals this upcoming week. I have 6 hours to study, while including time for myself as well throughout the day. So I'm going to study for 2 hours. I'm going to study for one test that's a bit harder for 3 hours. A lot of it just looking at it from like a macro perspective and seeing how much time do I actually need and how much time do I need for myself. Maybe I'm being corny because we just talked about a bunch of like time management and stuff like that. But that is really important, and it's really helpful for making sure that you're able to keep your sanity during finals or midterms.
Someone said number 4, how do you handle feelings of academic pressure? This is hard, especially in a college environment, when the people you're living with or the people you're taking classes with and doing homework with together, and it's kind of hard to get away from the school talk sometimes. So I think just trying to keep in mind that you're at college for yourself, and what your 4-year plan looks like is going to be different from what your roommate's 4-year plan looks like. And you just have to keep in mind that what someone else is doing in their academic journey, how much time they're spending studying or how many credits they're taking, it's not going to affect you. And it's hard to actually internalize that, but after a while, you start to understand that what works for someone else isn't going to work for you. And the pressure starts to fade away a little bit.
Any final thoughts we want to share before we switch gears? Alrighty, we really appreciate it. Again, thank you, TJ, for sticking around. You are welcome to send him a message or any of the senior program leaders here on the call that and ask them any tips or tricks that they might have. So thank you so much for attending this session. I'm going to stop recording, but if you are in AU Cornerstone, please stick around for your 2 p.m. meeting. Alrighty, friends, thank you so much.